Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. Thank you guys for joining us on this Tuesday evening. CBS Sports recently did an article saying Kyle Pitts, it's a make it or break it year in 2023. Do you think that's a valid thing to say going into 2023? Is it make it or break it for Kyle Pitts going into year three?
Short answer, no. Always, all of this information is on our website, sportstalkatl.com. Please go visit it. All of these clips will be on YouTube as well. If you missed any of the previous segments, Sports Talk ATL, please subscribe. Yeah, I mean, it's delusional to talk about. Listen, Kyle Pitts is the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. There's always going to be an insurmountable pressure and expectation on the guy. It just comes with the territory. But let's not forget, this guy almost broke the league record for receiving yards by a rookie tight end last year, or 2 years ago in 2021. 2022, he was marred by inconsistent quarterback play, and then he ended the season on the injured reserve. I think he should be held responsible for a certain percentage of the disappointment last year, but let's not also forget Marcus Mariota. He had the highest percentage of off-target thrown his way, meaning 30% of the balls that Marcus Mariota threw to Kyle Pitts were deemed uncatchable. For a guy with a record-breaking wingspan, that is unfathomable. On top of that, Arthur Smith took the ball out of Marcus Mariota's hands, constantly running the ball because he knew he couldn't trust Marcus Mariota to throw the ball. So even when he did get the opportunities, which there were less of than in 2021, they were terrible throws. Matt Ryan was at the end of his career, had a noodle for an arm, and we saw what Kyle Pitts could do with that. I am just excited to see Kyle Pitts put all of this noise to bed. I mean, we talked about it in yesterday's show about how somebody was talking about him being all-time tight end bust. It's crazy. This disrespect has got to stop.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Do I consider it a make it or break it year in year three? Like, if he went and turned in another really subpar year, and let's say he didn't get injured and maybe the numbers just weren't there, like, I could see you saying that, okay, that's a make it or break it. Here's the thing, though. That ain't going to happen. Like, I'm just telling you, he's way too talented. Like, unless, like, if Desmond Ridder is just awful, like Marcus Mariota level bad, maybe he has a similarly bad year. But if Desmond Ridder is even average, which I think even last year he proved with Drake London only as his only wide receiver with Kyle Pitts injured, that he can be a much better passer than Marcus Mariota, especially with the full offseason as the starter going into his second season and a system that he's going to be a lot more familiar with. I think there's no doubt he's going to be a better passer, which is he's going to put all this stuff to rest. Because if there's one thing I can guarantee you, it's like Kyle Pitts ain't no scrub. Like, I don't know what these people are trying to say, but like, yes, okay, if he goes out there and catches for 400 yards, you can start talking about him being a bust. I'm telling you, unless he gets injured, there's no way he goes out there and catches 400 yards, especially if we start throwing the ball with Desmond Ridder. Like, the guy's way too talented. He is a freak of nature. He was the highest drafted tight end. And as we talked about yesterday on the show, when you talk to Travis Kelce, Tony Gonzalez, Bill Belichick, guys that are going straight into the NFL Hall of Fame or already in the NFL Hall of Fame, they're all like, yo, that dude, he's real. He's a stud. He's the guy. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Hopefully we get some consistent quarterback play this year with Desmond Ridder. But if it doesn't even happen this year, I still not going to call it make it or break it because I'm probably going to put it all on Desmond Ridder. And I'm going to say, listen, if you go out there and get a veteran quarterback, Kyle Pitts can play football. There's one thing I can tell you. He can play football.
All you got to do is look at 2021. Matt Ryan was at the end of his career, a shell of himself. He had pretty much virtually no arm power left. He could still get the job done because he's a grizzled veteran. He knew what he was capable of. And Kyle Pitts put up over 1,000 yards, nearly broke the all-time record. Moreover, we talk about it with Ronald Acuna Jr., how he's just oozing talent, oozing physical talent. And now Ronald's putting it together above the head, and we're seeing what he's doing. He's the best player on the planet right now. Kyle Pitts should experience a similar jump when he understands the nuances of what defenses are trying to do, what the offense is trying to attack. Once he starts getting the full encompass of football, it's going to be scary hours for the rest of the league.
Well, it's also going to be scary hours because look at the players he has around him this year. Like in year one, he barely had anything. Calvin Ridley was out injured. Like, it was basically just him versus the whole defense, kind of like Drake London was last year. Now they're going to be together, playing together. Now you have one of the best rushing games in the league. You got Bijan Robinson, you got Cordell Patterson, you got Jonnu Smith, All these guys are going to have to be accounted for, and it's going to create one-on-one matchups across the board. So maybe teams decide, hey, we're going to double team Kyle Pitts like we saw a lot in his first year. He still had a great season, but we saw it a ton. But then Drake London's going to be open. His impact is going to be felt in some way. It's whether he's making out there all these catches or whether he's, unfortunately used as a blocker and doing stuff like that, used as a decoy. His impact is going to be felt, even if he doesn't go out there and put up 1,200 yards.
Yeah, that might not sit well with fantasy football players, but again, we don't care. We want to win games. I don't care how it looks. And I promise the Falcons aren't going to win games in the pretty way. They're going to be grimy, ugly games, fought in the trenches. And frankly, that's like, if we're talking about being a football purist, that's it. I mean, we're talking about smash mouth football. Who cares? Just win, baby.
Yeah, just win. Hey, coming up after the break, we're going to talk about some more Atlanta Hawks rumors. DeAndre Ayton to the Hawks.